Lauren Fix, an auto industry analyst. Always a delight to talk to you, Lauren. Okay, so maybe help us understand what is set to be rolled back.
All right, well, first you need to understand corporate average fuel economy. We obviously had a gas crunch back in the 70s. Some of us might remember that. So they put in these corporate average fuel economy numbers, and the Obama administration had put it in place that it was supposed to be 34.5 miles to the gallon. And then by 2025, it was supposed to go to 54.5 miles to the gallon. Well, many manufacturers said this is impossible, so they started producing electric vehicles with incentives from the federal government in order to try to meet those numbers. So basically, whether you make trucks or cars, they take all of the vehicles you make and they average them out, and if you don't make the number, the EPA would fine you, and that fine would then go back to the EPA for any sort of work that needed to be done to help. The problem is that manufacturers are saying, we can't make these numbers. And if we make these numbers, we're going to be bankrupt. And then we're going to have other issues because it's going to impact other areas of our lives. So the administrator for the EPA, Scott Pruitt, is planning to freeze those numbers at 34.5 miles to the gallon. But this causes a little problem because California has their own regulations, and they call
I was going to say, we do our O thing out here. What happens in California?
Right. For the 49 states, we kind of go with what California says. And manufacturers don't like that because the stricter they make their regulations, the harder it is for them to make any profits, which means they can't put that extra money into technology to help reach those numbers. Of course they want better fuel economy. Of course they want you to buy more cars. But there's a breaking point. So apparently we're supposed to hear it's supposed to be before April 1st because that's the deadline that Scott Pruitt has to.
It sounds like a terrible April Fool's joke for consumers because ultimately that means that you and I are now going to have to pay more to fuel up our vehicles. So we're kind of the big losers. Or not necessarily?
No, what's going to happen is he's going to freeze it at 34.5 miles to the gallon. You want to buy an electric vehicle or a hybrid? Go buy one. There's nothing stopping you. There's a federal tax credit involved or a state one. But if California calls the shots, it means the cars are more expensive. So right now you're paying more for cars than you need to, between $2,000 and $3,000 more. So it might make cars less expensive, and nothing's going to change. You want an SUV? Go buy an SUV. You want a hybrid? That's great. It allows you those options. But if California is sued by the EPA, and they say you're not going to call the shots for the other 49 states, I think he's in for a big court battle. And they say that's what they're saying, is that they can win this war. So this should be very interesting, especially on Monday when it all hits the fan.
We may need to chat again on Monday, Lauren Fix.
I'll be there for you.
All right, Lauren Fix, the car coach. Thanks so much.